Hi, this is Peter Robinson from ChainSys. Thank you for joining our webinar series. I'm sure you're all aware that Agile has been announced as being end of support or end of life, however you want to term that terminology. We've created a webinar series to address the nuances that you might be facing with that announcement in your current implementation of Agile. We've polled several clients, and some will be sort of sticking, ain't broke, don't fix it, and staying in that current state, which then presents how do we stay current with the environment of other systems and businesses that will be modernizing, going to the cloud, etc. How do we stay synchronized with that? So we schedule those into the program. This specifically today is, and we've got several clients like you that are here on the call, which have made the decision to, if not now, in the fairly near future, to move Agile PLM to Oracle PLM in the cloud. So, as I mentioned in my communications to you, that we'll go quickly to demo so that we can get that point across. So, just on the next slide here, just a brief introduction of what about ChainSys. We are now in our 21st year, headquartered in Lansing, Michigan. 1,000 professionals worldwide, of which 80 are SAP experts, 120 Oracle experts. As you can see here, just in the slide, there's some skill sets that are unique and certainly an area where we excel is what we're going to talk about specifically today in the way that our products and people, no programming approach, will demonstrate how we'll be able to go from Agile PLM to the cloud. So with that, we're going to pass over. We've got our Chief Technology Officer, Sundu, with us. We're going to go straight to the technical portion of this to keep the sort of salesy sides out of it. This is meant to be a technical presentation. So Sundu, we'll pass it over to you to demonstrate the purpose of the webinar of getting Agile PLM to Oracle.
Sure, Peter. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And it's been a very passionate topic for us, from the Agile PLM over to the Oracle PLM Cloud. We're pretty excited about the cloud transition journey that we have been going through for many, many clients. And we just wanted to share, don't get scared on this slide. Is a lot of information out there, but just wanted to share, we have the complete solution for the Agile, to be migrated over to the Oracle PLM Cloud, and we have done it in multiple places. So that's a good news, and this is a no programming approach, and that's what we'll be happy to share this. We have a great methodology to take you from any source PLM system like Oracle Agile, Team Center, any other legacy PLM softwares, over to the Oracle's cloud application, which is the Oracle Cloud PLM system. And you can see on the right hand side, very user-friendly portals, which are very effective, because when you work on Oracle Cloud, by now you would be completely aware. One of the important things is the instant strategy. And if something data-wise, if you go, wrong data gets in, it's kind of very difficult to clean it up. So our approach is even before the data gets in, we want to thoroughly validate in our portal, and give you all the statistics, all the measures for you to take a look at that comfortably and give an approval before the data really actually flows into the new Oracle PLM Cloud. So that way, whatever changes you want to do, if you want to change the revisions, or you want to do some restructuring of your structures, whatever be the need, or even item collisions. If there is lots of items which have collisions in it, we want to see how we can standardize them. And unification, coming out with the new item codification. So all those processes have been done end to end with this, process with our product, which is the ChainSys App Migrate tool, which handles that very effectively for you. And this is basically to give you the high-level pitch on what is a business engagement. We want to keep the business engagement as minimal for this activity, and that activity is also controlled with the very simple workshops, where we will provide you the actual results from different activities like profiling, or based on pre-validation errors, and actual execution results. We all will be looking at it on a workshop, making sure everything is looking good and making the continuous improvement. Okay, so that is the approach, and it gives a key differentiator. ChainSys has done this in many places. We have the standard adapters to use, right? And we have the data quality focus along with this important migration activity. It is not a lift and shift. It is about making sure the data cleansing, enrichment, construction, transformation is handled very well alongside, and showcase the information, all the master data, alongside all the revs and ECOs, MCOs, and even all the compliance data to be brought in and given a complete state of what is the new data going to look like, where we started, what has been transformed, before it is migrated over to the Oracle PLM cloud. And then once migrated, we can reconcile and make sure everything is looking, because this is the heart of any business. If we get the engineering data right, and obviously we're going to start a very clean slate of any manufacturing industry, and that's our focus has been, and we bring that to you. And this is a good case study. We did this for a client, Emerson, where we migrated from Oracle Agile Team Center. They have a bunch of PLM systems, SAP, Oracle E-Business Suite, and many legacy systems. We kind of successfully migrated that over to the Oracle's PLM cloud. So that is the beauty of this. In between, we put the cleansing engine to do all the dedupes and also unification process, and we did the item codification. So because there was a lot of collision, you can imagine there's so many different, it's multiple acquisition companies coming together and moving into one single. Earlier it was more than 12 PLM systems. They had more than 12 PLM systems, and which were we're still, almost 75% done with this. But globally, right now, the project is moving, where we are moving some of the systems out of China into the global instance of the Oracle PLM Cloud. So great experience, and these are some of the objects which we used. So you can see some of the source system, SAP, the multiple systems in Esna, Avicent, Brazil. We have Microsoft, we have Oracle E-Business Suite, Dana, Onida, 2 environments, CRM On Demand. We had Global Pod, which is also Oracle's separate Oracle Cloud environment, where we had lot of item masters there, which we need to move it into the PLM cloud, into a new system. Agile 8.5, that's a very important piece. And LES, Team Center, those are important things. And you can see the master data, transactions, compliance data, which all been migrated over successfully. These are some of the standard pieces which we brought in. Just wanted to, and please put your questions, whatever you have. I'll show you the product, how it looks, and also try to take your questions. Between Peter is he has been very passionate, extensive amount of experience about PLM. So we're pretty excited to showcase this to all of you. So here is the App Connect tool, which is utilized for the data migration purposes, right? If you look into the connections, so you can see all the different applications. This is a hub and spoke. So you can connect multiple, as I showed you earlier, more than 12 source applications, legacy PLM systems coming in and getting cleansed, and then we want to migrate it over to the target new, Oracle PLM Cloud, right? So you can see all the different instances. If you're, getting it out of Oracle, you can see the Oracle PLM Fusion apps connections made available here. So as I told you, it is a hub and spoke. You can connect to as many environments that you can see here, the Oracle Cloud PLM. So we're going to be using the standard processes which Oracle provides, and we've been working with Oracle for a little over 20 years now, and we have a great synergy and lots of relationship with the product team as well, right? So you can see the process URLs, FBDI, UCM, everything which is used for loading the data into the Oracle PLM Cloud, making a connection into the PLM Cloud, right? And also, when you look at if I want to extract the data out of the Oracle's PLM Cloud, we have a BI connection as well into the Oracle's content management, right? So that is done in the Oracle BI Cloud, so using which we would extract the data out of the system, okay? So let me show you a quick mapping of how the migration flows are actually created. I'll show you the data flow. Data flow is basically an object which helps you to map, which are standard offerings here. So if you look at it, I'm looking at PLM to take a look at some of the to Fusion item. So I'm taking the Agile as a source, and here I can see the mappings. So I got the extraction adapters, which is going to extract the data out of the Agile PLM. And then we have the target load adapter, which is, you can see here, the item creation, object. And this is the mapping. In this case, I mapped only the item and revision, but you can map the catalog relationship. There's a whole bunch of, there's like thousands of, of fields which are available there, right? So if you look into the mapping, you can see here, we mapped all these different fields. These are standard mappings. So we have standard mappings for all the objects when it comes to Oracle Agile over to the Oracle PLM Cloud. And also we have done that similarly for Team Center to the Oracle PLM Cloud. We are working with a client right now to move also Innovia to the Oracle PLM Cloud. Okay, so there's a lot of applications readily available. And the adapters for loading, for example, as I told you, no programming. I will also show you, maybe I can execute this process, and to show you how this is going to work. Okay, that is one option. Or let me show you the building block. That's more interesting rather than just execution, right? So let me also send you a link to some of our demos, which will show you the execution parts and things like that. So you can see here the item creation, the load adapter. So the load adapter is these are all predefined adapters. So we have an engine specific to Oracle PLM Cloud, and we have also an engine specific to the Oracle Agile. So we can go data both ways. So we can extract from Agile, move it into PLM Cloud, and in scenarios where you want to coexist, we can also push some of the data back into the Agile. So you can see here we can do parallel processing, and the pre-validation is what I talked about, where you can do extensive validations and things like that. So this is a Fusion table definition, which helps you to showcase, what are all the FBDI structures which we are trying to map it against. Okay, and then all the attributes are shown here. So all the attributes in terms of whatever fields that we are going to map it against the PLM Cloud, that is all shown here. Okay, so you have the complete building block for your migration available here in terms of transformation logic, in terms of so you can see all the different data sets with different attributes which are available within that. Okay, so this is a standard. I just wanted to repeat it again. It's a standard offering where you can play with it all the time. Okay, and now I'll just take a quick time to run this quickly, which is an execution demo. Okay, so you can see I'm just logging into the Oracle Agile, and let me just quickly do a search on the data which is out there with respect to the items and also some of the structures. So I'm going to quickly look at the items which are there. So you can see the Agile, this is 9.x. In the case of our client, we migrated both. They had 8.5 and also they have 9.x. So you can see the item from Agile here, and we'll also take a look at the model and the bills of material related to that as well. So you can see all the BOM data related to the electrical reliability services. So there's about 11 components there totally. And I'm just going to sign on into the Oracle PLM cloud and show you quickly those things are not existing there. So if I go to there are two PD and PIM, which is the product design, and then you have the product information management. Going into the product information management to look at the item, and you can take a look at. I'm just looking at that item; it's not existing. So I'm going to go ahead and try to process the data flow which I showed you just a moment ago. So I'm just going to go pick up the data flow and simply execute that. So you can see that PLM to Fusion, I'm going to pass the batch ID because it's a batch process. I'm just going to put that and then execute this process. And this process gets executed. You can see the extraction is going to happen, and then the mapping, and then it goes into calling the FBDI, and it does the pre-validation, transformation, all the reconciliations, everything in an automated fashion for you. So it's an end-to-end offering for you in terms of the entire data migration goes. So now it's ready for data loading, and you can see just push the button to load the data. And once it is loaded, it is going to produce all the reconciliations in terms of it compares the raw data against the transformed data, and also it compares the the transformed data against the loaded data also. Similar to the materials, basically the item master, you can do also the structures also. Like you can see both the preload and the post-load reconciliation here. And I'm going to quickly run also the bills of material to show you, what, because we have all the objects readily available for your use. So you can run the bills of material, you can do the similar thing for ECO, all the transactions. In this project, we processed very, all the historical data as well, which will be very interesting for you, and all the drawings. So we brought in all the drawings, so which is another very interesting piece. And we also converted some of the unstructured data into some structured values into the EDM, Enterprise Data Management as well. So with that, I want to move on to the questions. I think we are very close to the hour. So some of the questions, conversion tool. Yeah.
Well, yeah, one of the, I think you just, there was a question that was, is it possible to migrate attachments? And I think you just had talked about that.
Oh, okay, beautiful. Go ahead, Peter. I mean, is a conversion tool cloud-based? Of course. I mean, it's a cloud-based application, so you can simply have an access immediately and make it to work. What is the licensing model? We have, depending on number of adapters that you need and the endpoints and number of amount of data you're going to migrate, we can give you the flexible model. It's a pay-as-you-go model, so it's very easy to price it for your requirement. Can it be used for continuous enrichment of data into PLM? Of course, it's going to be continuous. We're using it for integrations, so it is a continuous enrichment process. Can our users use the tool, or is it suited for your consultants? We have both ways. We will train you guys how to use it, so you can take it, and that's the approach. We love it. And but if you need some help, we have powered a lot of good data experts, I would say, and also people who understand the Agile and the Oracle PLM Cloud. So whichever direction you want to go. Okay. And do you have templates to start conversion migrating from example 9.3 to Oracle Cloud? So yes, that is the answer is yes. So that's a standard piece we have and ready to go, and we'd love to help you guys. And there's a lot of tremendous questions. And Peter, back to you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking. I think you covered them.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions that anybody wants to pose across while we have us live? Okay.
We have about 10 minutes. Oh, there are a few more questions coming in. I thought it's 3 o'clock. I was running like a real fast.
Well, that's good. We promised it would be technical, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I think let me slow down a little bit. There are a few more questions. Maybe you can throw. I think one of the thing was migrating attachments. I just want to share the experience there. We use content management pretty extensively. to bring all of those attachments. And maybe I should talk about here, some of the drawings. We also took all the text out of the drawings and was able to move that into some of the important notes which are readily searchable, because they wanted to make it more easily searchable, which were there buried into the drawings. So we did that portion. That's where the unstructured data like drawings and several specification documents, whatever people have, if you want to make that into somewhat easily searchable and somewhat more structured, that is something we did, and we will be happy to share more insight into that as well. There's one more question, interesting. Can you merge item data across multiple PLM systems? So Peter, you want to take that? It's about multiple PLM systems. Can you take that and how you merge them into the PLM cloud?
Yeah, we can consolidate the master data objects. Then we can update your your MDM, your master data, and your ERP as needed. So, which is one of the subjects we put on here. If somebody wants to stay with where they are, what are the other systems can we integrate and merge the data, or stay valid as things are getting updated around it?
Oh, cool. I mean, one more question I might want to put, a few more questions. I just want to put it on you. What load methods do you support in Oracle PLM Cloud?
Let's see.
Maybe I can take that,
Yeah, take that one, because I'm just actually, sorry, I was reading another question. So you take that one. I've got another one that just came in.
Yeah, I mean, we support 4 methods actually. We use FBDI pretty extensively. We use all the process methods, which is REST and SOAP. And the data which Oracle says certain things that they will not allow to do through these methods. Then we have our own bots solution, the ChainSys bots, which is very, very helpful to kind of fix some of the things which are so critical for the migration. Okay, so that is also we support. So between these 4, REST, SOAP, and then you have the ChainSys bots, and then the FBDI or templates, we should be able to handle pretty much all the your data needs.
Yeah.
And then maybe this last question we might have: what ERP do you support? I don't know what is this. Maybe talking about what all ERPs we can migrate over to the PLM. But I think maybe the question should be what all different PLM systems do you support migrating over to the Oracle PLM Cloud? Peter?
Sorry, I was reading another one. If you don't mind taking that, could you go ahead? I've got this other one on government, so I'm going to come back with you. So if you could take that one.
Yeah, the legacy, for us, the legacy PLM systems which we are focusing on is, any of the, if you look at the, more on-premises, the Oracle PLM, Oracle itself has multiple PLM. Oracle had the legacy PLM systems, and then they had Agile, and you're also active with the JD Edwards, SAP PLM, and if you look at many other smaller PLM systems to the high-end Team Center, Innovia, and also Windchill. So those are critical ones, critical mass that we support today. But it doesn't mean that we can support any of the. If there is some companies don't have a PLM, just have ERP systems, that's fine. I mean, we take those data and give them put them into the Oracle PLM cloud. That would be an effective way to go. Yeah, Peter, I think you might have one more.
I got
question.
This will probably be the last one if there's not others coming in, so I can wrap up. But I got a couple of clients now. This is why we made a separate subject about data cleansing, which is an upcoming tomorrow, I believe, is the data cleansing session, where we have mergers and acquisitions, and there's 5 different instances of the 10K quarter watt resistor, and I's for ones and ones for 0 in the data, and how do we get it clean and stay clean? So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about governance and ITM and BOM domains, etc. Soon, if you could just sort of go to that, which will lead us into more tomorrow, but maybe just a taste of that today about governance.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Because data cleansing is going to be a very, very important component, and even in this project at the Vertiv account, I would say data cleansing was the most challenging part, even more than the data movement itself, right? I would not say that data movement was not because of the volume. It was pretty expensive amount of data to be moved, and the drawings and the unstructured data, that adds up the big complexity. But it was when we were able to reduce the amount of the item master, that was the greatest comfort for me. Particularly coming from engineering background, I felt really excited. We could add some great value in shrinking their problem because they got day-to-day so many problems to attend. I felt, at least from the data-wise, they don't have to scramble around which component to pick for what, because they have a bunch of similar components all overlaying.
So with that, we're coming up to the close of the expected time for the webinar. Just to a commitment from me and the team, I'll follow up with you. Would be more than happy to do a simple proof of concept or something to prove what you've seen today. It's kind of been sort of a fire hose of how we do it. But I'm hoping you can see we've got great experience in 21 years, but also the client base and examples and references that you can talk to. But we'd be happy to do a POC or something as a test case to help you show our experience in that. So I will certainly follow up with that, and I'll follow up with you about the other topics as well. We've recorded this session so we can forward it on if you want to slow it down and see some of the things that were demonstrated technically. So we can send that to you too. If you want to make a request, send that over. Otherwise, we really appreciate your spending time with us here today. And if anything else, just please let us help. If we can help, let us help.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Tanu. Right. Everybody have a good day. Thank you very much.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.